resources are under fire as well. Right now, Miami-Dade, Florida's largest school district, there is no sex ed curriculum after the school board struck down a previously approved textbook on the subject. The Washington Post calling it a test of the state's new, quote, parental rights bill. As some families argue the subject matter in these textbooks, it's not age appropriate. Joining us now is Steve Gallen. He's the vice chair of the Miami-Dade School Board. He voted in favor of the already approved curriculum. Steve, thanks for joining us on this. So this book was approved 3 months ago, right? And now it is no longer part of the curriculum, leaving Miami-Dade students without any sex education. What's happening here?
Yes, this is pursuant to a law that was adopted in 2021 under the guise of the Parental Rights Bill, in which parents have an active role and voice and vote in some cases relative to the materials that are adopted by the school district, more specifically materials dealing with sexual education. The state does have the opportunity to adopt those materials itself, but it deferred that particular decision to the local school boards. And that's the position that we're in. We adopted those materials 3 months ago, pursuant to state statute, pursuant to school board policy, and pursuant to all of the provisions and intent regarding parental engagement and involvement. So most recently, on the heels of some contention from groups that do not have children in the school system and some other parents who express some concerns, we've taken a position to, quite frankly, defend some students and deny the majority of students in Miami-Dade County Public Schools of having access to this critically important information.
So what happens next here, right? Because right now, Miami-Dade students, they're going to be going back to school in just a couple of weeks. Florida goes back to school a little bit earlier than the Northeast does in other parts of the country. They're going to be without sex ed, right? So is there a plan on the docket to vote on a new curriculum? Are they looking at new textbooks to provide sex education to the students?
Yes, one of the things that we have to do is launch this process all over again. This process, because it is so inclusive, because it does consider parental engagement, community input, and the input from educational experts, it can be quite exhaustive, and it can take 4 to 8 months for this to be underway. In the interim, you'll have our middle school and high school students without access to this critically important information during these very critical times. So that process will be underway, but again, very exhaustive, very engaging, and very time-consuming. And it's a process that we successfully
implemented. Please continue.
And it's a process that we successfully implemented with fidelity, all I's dotted, all T's crossed, complied with the letter of the law pursuant to state statute, school board policy. And again, these provisions outlined in the Parental Bill of Rights that speak to parental engagement. And let me say this. Parents who have some exceptions with material that's being presented to children, pursuant to state statute and school board policy, they can opt out. They can actually opt out of their children being provided this information. But what we have done in this particular case, we opted out an entire district of students who would need this information that's critically important to not only their learning, but to their lives. And this, again, is a requirement of the state statute relative to health and reproductive education. So it's a requirement of the state that we are facing being unable to provide for at this particular time.
Wow, astounding. Thank you so much for talking to us about this. Steve Gallen, thank you. Coming up, everybody, a global health emergency.